Hello yogis and welcome to Desert Lotus Yoga from my home. Today we are going to be doing a restorative class and using the wall to help us out, to support us. If you have a scarf or a towel or even a yoga strap, go ahead and take that out. We will use that to help us get into the hamstrings a little bit. We're going to start off by working on the breath and taking our legs up the wall. So the easiest way to bring your legs up the wall is to take your hip, right or left, and press it against the wall and then start to drop your torso down as you reach the legs up. Now you can have your glutes pressed all the way up against the wall, but if that is a little bit too drastic, you can always pull the hips away from the wall a little bit. So there are some options with your legs. You can have the feet close together and touching, or you can have them about hips distance apart. Don't draw them any wider than that just yet because we'll take them wide later on in our practice. So for this practice, I'm just going to show you all of the postures that we're going to use and let you know how long to hold them for. So most of the poses that we'll be doing today are going to be held for 5 to 8 minutes. The first couple of postures we won't hold quite as long because we're just warming up the body. But as we begin this practice, we are just going to start to notice our bodies, noticing the space that we're in and noticing our breath. Trying not to change anything too much just yet. We're just taking an inventory. We're noticing how we feel. We're noticing the qualities of our breathing. We're noticing the qualities of our bodies. So perhaps you feel light, or perhaps you feel a little heavy today. Maybe your breath feels shallow, maybe it feels deep. Just noticing these things without any judgment, just looking on at yourself as an observer. You can even imagine looking at yourself from up above and send some kind compassion to yourself. This practice is going to get us into the hips. So the hips can be the place where we hold a lot of emotional tension. And so as we go through our practice, if you feel any of those things coming up, allow yourself to sit with anything that you're feeling. Try not to shove anything back down or force anything away. Sit with it. Notice how it makes you feel. Challenge the feelings if they're not true. And replace them with better feelings and better thoughts if you feel like what you're thinking is true. So, starting to come into the breath, I'm going to inhale and take my arms up over my head. And I'm going to take a deep belly breath. Inhaling, I'm going to let the belly rise up. And exhaling, I'm going to let the belly fall back down toward the spine. Inhaling, the belly rises, and exhaling, we release. Once again, inhale, nice, deep inhale all the way to the base of the spine, and exhale. As you come into the first posture, we're going to take the scarf, towel, or strap, and let it be long. You're just going to take that and hook it around your foot. So holding on, you can use both hands to hold on, or you can use one. It's up to you. I'm just going to begin to pull the right foot toward my head. So I'm starting to feel a deepening, a lengthening in the back of my right leg. The hamstring is starting to tell me that it's there. I'm feeling that. So you'll hold this for about 3 minutes. So letting the hands rest or the elbows rest would be ideal. If you can't do that, that's okay. Pay attention to what your face is doing. If you are holding tension in the jaw or the brow, try to relax those areas and really try to release the shoulders. So after you've held that for about 3 minutes, we're going to exhale and start to drop the right leg open. So from here, we're going to continue to pull that right leg up toward the head, but we want to make sure that we don't start to roll onto the right hip. So we want to keep both hips grounded on the mat. The right foot is flexed and I'm really pulling it up. You can start off as gentle or deep as you'd like, but listening to your body, listening to the muscles. You don't want to pull anything and you don't want to hurt yourself. Definitely not yoga. So you'll hold here for about 3 more minutes. And then on an inhale, you'll take that right leg up, remove the scarf, and we'll trade it out with the other leg. So hooking the scarf or strap around the left foot, we'll begin to do the same thing. We're pulling the left foot toward the face, and you may notice, just as I am right now, that one leg is going to have a lot more flexibility than the other. This is not the leg for me that's being flexible today. So I'm just noticing that. I don't want to send any judgment or criticism. It's just an observation. It makes me think, I wonder what's going on with the left side. Is there something going on with the moon? Is there tension that I'm holding? Did I hurt myself on a hike? Just thinking about those things. If you feel like thinking about anything at all. That'll be held for about 3 minutes. And then on an exhale, we'll drop the left leg open and continue to pull it toward the top of toward the head. Once again, we don't want to have the shoulders too involved. And we want definitely to make sure that the hips are squared onto the mat. So if you start to feel like you're rolling over, press back down into the right hip. Taking breaths here. As you hold this posture, softening the face, relaxing your jaw. And then when you're ready, go ahead and inhale after 3 minutes, and we will take the left heel back to meet the right, and you are done with the scarf for this practice. So now we're going to move into a wall squat. So we're just going to take the legs, and they're going to be a little bit wider than hips distance. And just start to walk those feet down. Only walking them down to the point that you feel comfortable. Hands can be down alongside the body. If you'd like, you can reach up and stretch them overhead, getting a nice stretch into the ribs, those intercostal muscles. And we'll hold this posture for about 5 minutes. As the time goes by, maybe you wait for about half that time to pass and then start to walk your feet down a little bit closer to the glutes. We want to make sure that we don't start to push the body away from the wall. We want to have the opening here in the hips. If you'd like, you can also hold on to the knees. Staying here for about 5 minutes, noticing any thoughts that are coming into your mind, allowing yourself to sit with them, and then inviting them out the door. From here, you'll begin to take your legs back up the wall after holding that for about 5 minutes. And we're going to bring the legs wide. So I'm going to fall off the wall here with this right leg, but you'll get the idea. So just letting the legs come into a nice wide straddle, flexing the feet toward the face. You'll hold this posture for 5 minutes. When about half of that time has gone, you can begin to drop the legs a little bit further if that feels okay for you. Another option that you could think about is if you have yoga blocks, you can use those to support the legs here about halfway between the knee and the hip. So you're getting a nice long stretch here in the inner groin muscles, the psoas, and all of those muscles that help to move our legs for us. Holding this posture for about 5 minutes. And then when you're ready, inhaling, taking the feet back up the wall. So the last couple of postures that we're going to do are going to be pigeon on the wall, and then we'll finish with our legs up the wall for Shavasana. So to take, actually we have a pigeon and a twist and then Shavasana. So we're going to start off in our pigeon, and for this you may want to move your hips a little further away from the wall. It's up to you. But I have, I don't know, about 6 inches between my glutes and the wall now. And I'm just going to take my right foot and walk it down. I'm going to take my left knee, my left ankle and cross it over my right knee. And so I have this figure 4 shape that we're all so familiar with from reclining pigeon. So my right foot is rather high up on the wall. I can begin to walk that foot down as I feel myself settling into this posture. I have the left foot flexed. And if you'd like, you can begin to push gently on the left knee, pushing it away from the body. So coming into pigeon, it's our infamous pose of forgiveness. So thinking about forgiveness during this class, where can you begin to forgive yourself? Starting with ourselves, only then are we able to forgive others. We'll hold this position for 5 minutes. I know it's going to seem like a lot, and if you feel like backing out, go ahead and listen to what your body needs. But before you back out, think about why you might be backing out. Remember to stay with your breath. Keep your facial muscles nice and soft. Imagining that we have an orange light swirling around the hips. After 5 minutes has passed, you will take your left foot, raise it back up. Take your right foot, let it meet the left. And if you want, just move the hips from side to side. Just feel a nice resetting. And then from here, we'll pull the knees into the chest. Wrap yourself in nice and tight. And then exhale, release. Next side, we'll begin to start to walk the left foot down. We'll take the right ankle and put it over the left knee. And then just begin to move that left foot down to a point that you start to feel the opening and the stretching out of your hamstring and then into the hips. So on this side, I'm really feeling it go down into the piriformis, that deep glute muscle. Once again, flexing my right foot, trying to protect my knee and ankle joints. I'm going to use my right hand to just gently push my knee away. So once again, on this side, you'll hold for about 5 minutes. Noticing any feelings, any thoughts that are coming up. And on our first side, we thought about what ways or in which ways we could forgive ourselves. As we come into this side, the right side of the stretch, start to think about ways that you can forgive others. I had a wonderful teacher at a studio I used to go to who would say that if you're not ready to forgive, maybe you're ready to think about forgiving. Be willing to be willing, she would say. And sometimes that's all we can do. But remember that when you forgive, it's a setting free. You release your own shackles, your own bonds are loosened. So after about 5 minutes, you will start to take your left foot up the wall, uncross your right, and then once again, just start to move the hips from side to side. And then we'll inhale, drawing the knees into the chest. And then we'll make our way into the twists. So, taking your legs back up the wall, and I'm going to scoop my glutes so that they're pressed up against the wall once again. And from here, we're going to bend into the knees so that we have this nice angle here. And then we're just going to start to walk the feet down toward the baseboard or toward the floor. So my knees are really far up into my stomach, and that's okay. If you're having difficulty with the space between your knees, you can place a pillow in between, and that'll give you, maybe I should turn this way instead. So we're going to start, I'm going to go the opposite direction so that you can see me. I'm going to walk my feet down the right side of the wall that I'm running out of room on. So my knees are really pulled in. Let me scoot over just a little. And so as I walk down, I'm just going to let the feet reach the baseboard or the floor, the right foot. And I'm going to let my left foot just rest on top of the right. Now, if you'd like, you can use your forearm or your bicep to rest your head. Now, if you don't like having your knees pressed up against each other, you can place a pillow or a block in between here if you'd like. So coming into this twist, we're going to rotate the torso back down. My arms are reaching up, but just gently. So I have a lot of slack in my arms, and I'm starting to really feel some tension in my left hip. And so at this point, I would get a blanket. For now, not a blanket, but a pillow. For now, I don't have one, so I'm just going to use my little scarf here and just put some space between the knees, and that should relieve any pressure that you're feeling in the hips. And so I'm coming into a nice twist here, feeling the spine loosening and softening up, feeling myself releasing and letting go of holding on to tension, holding on to my stubborn ways, my rigidity. Breathing in flexibility. Holding this twist for about 5 minutes. This is great to do before bed or after dinner if your tummy isn't feeling so great. And to move out of this, after 5 minutes, you'll just start to walk your feet back up to center. You'll need to reset the back, lifting up the hips, and just find your center once again. Find some balance between the left and right side of your body, and then you'll make your way down to the other side. Just walking the feet slowly, listening to your body, and we're going to try to keep those shoulders pressed down onto the mat. If you'd like, you can roll over onto your left bicep to get yourself settled, and then just start to rest back down onto the shoulders. Another variation of this would be to stretch the feet out. I don't love that too much, so I'm not going to do it. I'm going to keep my knees pulled in. And once again, if you'd like, you can place a blanket or a pillow between the knees here. And we'll hold this twist for 5 minutes. The twists always make me think of water. Think about moving with water. Maybe floating on a river or walking on the beach, feeling the water as it touches you. Holding this posture for about 5 minutes. And when you're done, you'll begin to walk your feet back up the wall. And this is where we will take Shavasana. So for your Shavasana, exhale, let the hands come down alongside the body. Drop your shoulders. Thank yourself for your practice this evening. I know it's not the same. We normally go through a full meditation with our restorative class, but we're doing the best we can here. And I hope that you've enjoyed this. Please let me know if you have anything that you are questioning or you'd like to know more about or anything you'd like to see. Please feel free to stay in your Shavasana with your legs up the wall for as long as you'd like, anywhere from 5 to 8 minutes. And please move through this practice as slowly as you'd like. Thank you for joining me from the entryway of my house. The light in my heart sees. I'm just so honored to be able to practice and know the light in your heart. Namaste.